We are a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. Northern Lights Spiritual Center offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. We at Northern Lights Spiritual Center acknowledge our presence here on the traditional and unceded lands of the First Peoples of Seattle, the Duwamish and Salish Coast peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. We seek to resist the erasure of Indigenous histories as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. Please join me for our opening song, In This Very Room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room.
Well, good morning. So, hey, Auntie.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone.
My aunt is here, everyone. Miss Margaret Scranton. You recognize that last name.
Yes. Hi there.
So this morning we're not muting anyone right now until we get to the talk. And so if you haven't already, if you can get, let me take this off. If you can get a journal, a piece of paper, something to write on. And we're going to need this for the meditation. So I'm just going to wait just a moment because someone's walking in and I just want her to fully participate. Good morning, Miss Reba.
Good morning.
Hey, Tulani.
Hello, Stephanie.
How are you this morning? Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. So wonderful to see you. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you. So if you have it, if you have a piece of paper or journal, we're going to use that for our meditation this morning.
Okay, I'll go grab my journal.
Okay. Wonderful. You look awful comfy there, my auntie.
Well, I am.
Okay. Good morning, Reba.
Good morning.
Paper for you there.
Yes.
Okay. So this morning's meditation is going to be a little different than how you may be used to doing meditation. We're going to go through a process that I do, and I use this process whenever I feel I need to raise my vibration, or when I feel like I need to feel better, or if I'm stuck in my stuff. And I think you all know how it feels to be stuck in your stuff. Okay? So, everybody have their paper or their journal? On one side of the paper, you're going to write how I feel. And on the other side of the paper, so on the other side here, you're going to write how I'm choosing to feel, not on the back, just right on the next to. Okay? how I'm choosing to feel. Now, on the side where you have how I feel, we're not looking for the feelings that are great. Those are wonderful because we want to keep those. We're looking for those feelings that may not be quite in the same realm as great. So for instance, you might be sad, worried, doubt, frustrated, overwhelmed, unhappy, whatever. And if you're like in this wonderful place this morning, I commend you. I'm happy that you're there. But if you're in that place, find some emotion that you may have had yesterday when you woke up or whenever. Just write them all down. Okay? Okay, does everybody have their list? Some people might be writing a book, but that's okay.
No.
Okay. Then on the other side where it's like how I'm choosing to feel, write down how you're choosing to feel. An easy way to figure out how you might be choosing to feel is to take your list of how I'm feeling and write the opposite. So maybe if you're worried, on the other side it would be in the flow. If you wrote sad on the one side of how you're feeling, you might be choosing to put joy or happy. So write down, and it doesn't even have to be just the opposite, just write down as many feelings of how you're choosing to feel. Okay, so does everybody have a nice list, a nice juicy list on how they're choosing to feel?
Yeah.
Is that a yes? Okay. Because everyone should be unmuted. But that's okay if you're muted right now. There's going to be a point where I'm going to want you to unmute. Okay.
I'm on.
Okay, so this is what we're now going to do. We're going to go into a moment of meditation, or moments of meditation, but you're going to feel those feelings of how you're choosing to feel. You're going to see yourself, you're going to feel yourself feeling that list of how you're choosing to feel. So for instance, on my list I have joy, in the flow, in alignment, uplifted, peace, prosperous. So I'm going to spend some time feeling those feelings. Okay? Everyone got it? Okay, hit it, Maestro. Thank you. So let's just take a deep breath in and let it go. And take another deep breath in. And let it go. And one more breath in. And letting it go. And so for the next few moments, let us be in those feelings of how you're choosing to feel. Be those feelings right here and right now. See yourself, feel yourself, being all those wonderful feelings. And so as we come back into this room, we come back into the space with these feelings of how we're choosing to feel. And allowing ourselves to feel this way from this moment on. So allow yourself to come back and to be present. And so it is. So the second piece of this is that we're now going to say these statements to solidify those feelings. And normally when I go through this process, I'm going through each one of the statements and I'm saying the statements. It's going to be called kind of a call and response since you guys don't have the statements. Okay? And allow these statements to resonate. Allow these statements to feel each one of these. Here we go.
I believe that I create energetically and emotionally.
Okay? I believe that I can shift my current reality
I believe that I can shift my current reality
by shifting how I feel.
by shifting how I feel.
I believe that Source creates miracles.
I believe that Source creates miracles.
I believe that miracles happen all the time.
I believe that miracles happen all the time.
I believe that I can do,
I believe that I can do,
have,
have,
and will continue to witness miracles.
and continue to witness miracles.
I believe that I am a powerful being.
I believe that I am a powerful being.
Ooh, yes. I believe I am creator.
I believe that I am creator.
I believe Source is all around me, in me, as me.
I believe that Source is all around me, in me, and as me.
Ooh, let's say that again, okay? I believe that Source is all around me, in me, as me.
I believe that Source is all around me, in me, and as me.
I believe that I have the abilities of Source.
I believe that I have the abilities of Source.
I don't believe you. Let's say that again. I believe that I have the abilities of Source.
I believe that I have the abilities of Source.
I believe that I have access to the infinite intelligence anytime, anywhere.
I believe that I have access to infinite intelligence anytime, anywhere.
Yes. I believe I'm connected with the power that creates worlds.
I believe that I am connected to the power that creates worlds.
Now, I don't know if you know what that statement, there's power that creates worlds. You are one with that. You are that.
Yes, absolutely.
And the last statement is, I believe I can do.
I believe that I can do,
That I can be.
that I can be,
And can have anything I want.
and can have anything I want.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Okay.
You. Thank you, thank you.
Now, mute them. I can mute them. Okay?
Okay, you can mute them. And then I'm going to have them unmute.
Oh.
I'll be back. Oh,
Okay.
we're doing the reading right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reading's going to be a little different this morning. It's actually going to be a video. So sit back, enjoy.
I have many hands. Let me look at the left.
What if Martin didn't stand up? What if Rosa didn't sit down? What if Malcolm didn't man up? Where would we be now? What if Bobby didn't get up, stand up? What if the boys didn't come to advance? Headlines never printed the news. Harriet never went underground. Where would we be now? We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world. We can change the world with our love, 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 love. 'Cause it's up to us. We are the ones you've been waiting for. We can change the world. Our love can change the world. We can change the world with our love, 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 love. Our love can change the world. Me too, I'm better, you better, we better. Together we are love. Me too, I'm better, you better, we better. Together we are love. It's gotta be all of us. Stand up and speak up. With all of our love. Cause it's up to us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We can change the world. Our love can change the world. We will change the world with our love, 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 love. Our love can change the world. Oprah, Kamala, Ava, Tarana, and Lena, Serena, Viola, Oprah, Patrice, and Alicia. You and me are the chosen. Right now, this is our moment. We are a people of motion. Our love's gonna change the world.
Okay, so if everyone could unmute themselves, please. Those that are choosing to, but just unmute. Okay, everybody's muted except for one person. If you could.
You're muted.
You're the only one that's unmuted. Everybody else is muted. I can see.
This is Stephanie.
Stephanie, we can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear me.
Oh, I didn't hear us.
Can you hear me now?
No.
They can't hear me. Hold on, just a sec. Hold on.
Have they been hearing you?
I can't ask.
You did unmute everybody, right?
No, but that doesn't have anything to do with them hearing me.
No, that's because you're muted.
I'm muted?
Yeah.
Oh,
Stephanie.
Now.
can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? Okay, when I said unmute everybody, I guess I didn't ever mute myself. Okay.
I muted everybody.
Okay, yes, so who can't follow directions here? That would be me. Okay, well, thank you all for unmuting. And so tomorrow is Memorial Day. And I want us to take a few moments, and actually it's going to be about a minute. And the reason for unmuting is because I want us to say aloud those people that we're remembering, those people that we're honoring for Memorial Day. I mean, and I'm sure we honor them every day, but spending just a few moments saying those people's names out loud. So it might be, for me, it would be my mother, my dad, those people those sheroes, those heroes, those people in our lives that we're choosing to remember today. Okay? Everybody got it?
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So let's just take a deep breath in and let it go. And when you're ready, just speak those people's names out loud. Charles
Mary,
Scranton,
Mary,
Nancy Scranton,
Equity Baroness Carter, Eddie B. Walter Landry, Walter Landry, Harold Landry, Edmund Scranton, Hilton Scranton, Blair Evans, Earl Nancy Scranton, Scranton, Sean Lewis, Mr. Scranton, Samuel S. Kim, Margaret Taylor, Miss Lucy,
Yes.
George Taylor, Francis Taylor, Giselle Abear,
Yes.
Nancy Taylor,
Yes.
Nancy Scranton,
Barry McKinney,
Mm.
Mrs. McKinney.
Wilda Francis,
Yes. Mm. Yes. So continue to remember those people and to honor those people. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mrs. Gibb.
Sorry, I have to just dig out my song underneath.
Sorry.
No problem. I just have to get there. So each month I do a chant, and the words for this month's chant are, I rise up from where I have settled. I rise up from my tears and my cries. I rise up to show all my mettle. I rise up to 1,000 more tries. This uprising is lifting my life. This uprising is giving me joy. This uprising is bringing new peace. This uprising surprises. And each new verse then becomes a different pronoun. So the first one is I, second one is you, third one is we, and then come back to I. So feel it to the extent that you allow yourself to feel it. I rise up from where I have settled. I rise up from my tears and my cries. I rise up to show all my mettle. I rise up to 1,000 more tries. This uprising is lifting my life. This uprising is giving me joy. This uprising is bringing new peace. This uprising surprises. Now you rise up from where you have settled. You rise up from your tears and your cries. You rise up to show all your mettle. You rise up to 1,000 more tries. This uprising is lifting your life. This uprising is giving you joy. This uprising is bringing you peace. This uprising surprises. Now we rise up from where we have settled. We rise up from our tears and our cries. We rise up to show all our mettle. We rise up to 1,000 more tries. This uprising is lifting our lives. This uprising is giving us joy. This uprising is bringing new peace. This uprising surprises. Now back to I. I rise up from where I have settled. I rise up from my tears and my cries. I rise up to show all my mettle. I rise up to 1,000 more tries. This uprising is lifting my life. This uprising is giving me joy. This uprising is bringing new peace. This uprising surprises. Thank you. And we'll see what Spirit has for us next month.
That's all. So good morning once again. That was India Ree, and actually that was India Ree for both videos. I was having an India Ree kind of moment. One of my sheroes. So as we talked about a little earlier, that tomorrow's Memorial Day. And traditionally, Memorial Day was developed to honor those people that passed away during active service, military service. Well, it's definitely a time to honor these people. I mean, we definitely want to take time to step back, honor those people, to celebrate those people. I, however, want us to expand Memorial Day to be a day that we also honor those people that have been those sheroes and those heroes in our lives. And so when we took that moment before the video to call those people's presence into being, we were celebrating, we were honoring those people. And we could see in that first video, the one that it starts with Martin Luther King and what if. We're talking about, there were all those people have passed, well, all the people at the beginning of the video have passed on. We had Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman. All these people are, heroes and sheroes. And then, we want to honor them, but then to even expand it even further, the idea of Memorial Day, expanding it to remembering and honoring who we are. Remembering who and whose we are. So that brings me to the title of my talk. And the original title of my talk is Leaving a Legacy of Greatness. Now I say it's the original title because last night when I was in the shower, Spirit said, oh no, that's not the whole thing. The title actually is Leaving a Legacy of Godness, i.e. greatness. So we're going to talk about leaving a legacy of Godness, leaving a legacy of greatness today. Now, when I looked up legacy, what they said that legacy means is anything handed down from the past. Okay? So it's anything that's been handed down. When I looked up the definition of greatness, it said the quality of being important, notable, the quality of state of being powerful. When I looked up the definition of God, did not like the definition. I didn't feel that it encompassed the greatness, the allness of God. So we're going to leave that definition for a little later. But when we think about leaving a legacy of Godness, i.e. greatness, we're talking about handing down that which is notable, handing down that which is important, handing down that which is powerful and great. Ooh. I think that's a mouthful. I think that's that's some good stuff right there. Handing this greatness down, this Godness down. Now, God created us in its likeness and image. Yes? Yes. We agree on that point. And I'm sure if you were unmuted, you would be saying, yes, Stephanie, that's in fact true. So God created in its likeness and image. God created us from itself. We are created from that God stuff. And so when we went through our meditation this morning, and we talked about those qualities that we're choosing to embrace, those are probably God qualities. God, you have to create your own definition of God. Or it might be of spirit. You know, you got to sit back and define for yourself who and what God is. Because you're wanting to develop a personal relationship with God. Your relationship with God is not going to probably be the way my relationship with God is. We're about cultivating and developing our own personal relationship with God. And so we need to understand who that God is. Now, my God is powerful. My God is loving. My God is joyful. My God is prosperous. My God is not some man sitting up in the sky handing down judgment. Now, if that's who your God is, then you might be operating a little differently than I am. Because when we talk about being made of God's stuff, I'm talking about being made of all those things that God is. And when we're talking about leaving a legacy of goodness, of Godness, of greatness, we're talking about leaving a legacy that is all that God is. So it's leaving that legacy of power, leaving that legacy of joy, leaving that legacy of upliftment, leaving that legacy of prosperity, leaving that legacy. Being that, we have to live it. So in the meditation, when I said about feel the feeling, feel yourself being that. That is being your God self. That is planting the seed to leave this legacy of greatness. And so when we think about leaving a legacy, and leaving a legacy of greatness is putting it out there and being who God placed us here to be. We are made of God's stuff. God, I don't believe, was hiding out in some corner somewhere. I don't believe God is saying, oh, I'm not enough. I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not rich enough. I don't believe that's what God's doing. And so now it's incumbent on us to be our God self. So when we think about those people that we saw in the video, or those people that we spoke their names, our sheroes and heroes, we think and we see them as being these people that stood up and were being themselves and were expressing that God self. God created us in its likeness and image. God created us, however, each uniquely. We are all unique expressions of God. The way I express God is not necessarily the way you express God, because God created us uniquely. And it's that uniqueness that I want us to focus on, because it's that uniqueness that's going to propel us into being that God self, to express that legacy of greatness. In the video, in the second video, where India, she goes from being that corporate person and not especially being happy. I don't know if you got that. And she's dressed in black now. There's nothing wrong with wearing black, because I do love wearing black. But there's this awareness that she has that there is something greater within her that wants to be expressed. There is that part of her that wants to emerge. And so you see her coming out in that white jumpsuit, that white catsuit. She looked good. I think she looked good. I'm like, oh, go on, girl. You see her just dancing and just having a good time, breaking out of this way she thinks she ought to be and embracing the way that she is going to be, the way that she was born to be. She talks about just do you. Just do you is enough. The line in the song says, if you create the game, you create the rules. If you just do you, there's no way you can lose. It's just do you. God created you in your uniqueness so that you can express yourself and live your divine purpose. Now that's a big deal right there, living your divine purpose. Because in order for you to leave a legacy of greatness, you got to live from that divine purpose. And you need to know what that purpose is. I was watching The Equalizer last night for probably the 120th time. I like the movie. But what I noticed at the very beginning of the movie is a quote. And the quote is a quote by Mark Twain. And here's the quote. It says, "The two most important days in your life are when you are born and when you find out why." I'm going to say that again. The two most important days of your life are when you are born and when you find out why. Okay? Why are you here? What is it that you are to be doing? Now, I know many of us have been doing and going along and living that purpose. But that purpose keeps evolving. And therefore, we need to evolve with it. Just do you. Live that divine purpose. Just do you. Now, when we look at those people that we have felt that are just doing them, that have just done them, that are living their divine purpose, some of them were in that first video that we watched, where, we had Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, and the list goes on, Rosa Parks. There are some commonalities that they all possess. And I'm going to go down through the list because in order for you to do you, you have to embrace some things. There's some commonalities. So here we go. They were unique in their own way. Important. We're all unique. They took risks. Some of us not so willing to take risks. Some of us just want to sit back and kind of play it safe. They failed. Some of us are afraid of failing, so we never do. They were criticized. Not everybody's going to like what you're doing. They refused to quit. So in spite of failing, in spite of being criticized, they didn't quit. They tried again. So even in the failing, it's like, you know what? I'm going to do this again. And I'm going to find the right way to do it. They succeeded. Woo! Okay. There's success in there. All of that road that they're on is to get to that place of success. And then they made history. So when we're talking about leaving this legacy of greatness, it's not about being known worldwide. It's about doing you and leaving that legacy of greatness, leaving that part of you that can teach, that can cultivate, that is uplifting the world. And that could be just, in your own home. It could be in your own community. It could be in the global community. There's no big and small in God. And so therefore, there's no big and small in greatness. It's all the same thing. So we're born with these talents, and these talents and skills are necessary for us to use. They were given to you to be used, not to sit back and not use them. Because what happens to anything that's not used? You lose it, right? What do they say? Lose it or you
Use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it. And, you know, when you think about, like, limbs that haven't been used, they atrophied and they kind of, you know, wither away. Here's a good example. For those of us that, and I don't follow this category anymore, but you were exercising. You were doing, you. Woo! And you had muscles and you had ripples and, woo, it looked good. And then you decided, no, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to exercise anymore. I'm going to sit back and watch TV, which I think a lot of that happened during COVID, where there was a lot of sitting back and eating. Not that that's a bad thing. But what happened to those muscles? Did they stay all nice, well, and defined? No. They probably transformed into something more that resembled fat. And so when you don't use it, you lose it. God has given you these skills. God has given you these wonderful abilities to be used, to be shared. You know, there are those people that were born to sing, but we'll never hear a note from them. There were these people that were born to speak, but not a word would be uttered. There were those people that were born to dance, but we'll never see a step being made. There were those that were born to write, but a word will never be written down. So what is it within you that wants to be born? What is it within you that God implanted in you that wants to be expressed, that needs to be expressed? Do you know what that is? Do you know what your purpose is? So, in the thinking of this and thinking of leaving this legacy of greatness, I sat back and I thought, okay, so what are the reasons why we don't leave this legacy, or we are not living in our godness, we're not living in our greatness? And I'm going to go through some of the reasons, and I'm sure you probably have more. And in the reasons for not is also the way how. So the first one I have, and these aren't in any particular order. The first one is we let fear immobilize us. The F word. Fear immobilizing us. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to do something, you were supposed to do something, and fear just took your breath away and you just stood there like a deer caught in a headlight and just froze? So we let fear be the reason that we don't do something, that we're not moving forward in our greatness, when we're not expressing our godness. And so the way to overcome that is to feel the fear and do it anyway. Let that fear project you into your greatness. Let that fear just, feel the fear and do the complete opposite. Do what it is that you're being guided to do. The next one is we think ourselves out of it. So you get this wonderful idea. You're being guided to do whatever. And now you start thinking of all the reasons why you're not going to succeed. I'm not big enough. I'm not small enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not big enough. We think of all these reasons. And within that, there's that procrastination that comes into play. Now, I may be the only one that has ever procrastinated. But if you have ever had a moment of procrastination, that is something that you put in place that is stopping that legacy of greatness. Because that procrastination looks like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, guess what? Tomorrow never comes. If it's put in front of you to do, it's put in front of you to do now. Another reason, we let what others think create our story. Now, I know Reverend Bond talked about our story last week. But now we're letting others create the story. So we're letting other people tell us what we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to show up in life. We're letting others, we're just handing our power over to others instead of standing and writing our own story. And so the opposite of that would be, I'm taking charge, I'm writing my story. The next one is we get stuck in the story. Now, how this one is different is that you've created this story that's not necessarily true. This is a story where you might be the victim, where you might be the one that's being put upon, where this story where you can't be and play full out. And so you get stuck in it. And then you want to tell people about the story. You want to tell them so they can support you in being small. You ever done that? Where now, something's happened and you got to tell everybody what's happened. You have that, oh, woe is me moment. And those moments just keep dragging on and on. We get stuck in the story. So what I'm telling and suggesting is that if you have created a story that has you as the underdog, the way out of it is to rewrite the story where you're glorified. You are now your shero, your hero. We're talking about creating a legacy of godness, of greatness. The next one is we're afraid to fail. We don't try because we might not succeed. Failure is just a way of not to do something. And it's a good thing because now you know you're not supposed to do it that way. So, embrace failure. It's not a bad thing. We've made it bad, but it's not a bad thing. Use that failure to propel you forward. The next one, we're afraid to look inside and heal our stuff. Now, I don't care who you are. We all got stuff. Stuff that wants to be healed. That's coming up to the surface and asking you, please heal this. But some of us want to just push it under the rug or sweep it under the rug and not look at it, not deal with it because it's too painful. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's far more painful to sweep it under the rug and not look at it. And so, the way out, the way to create that legacy of greatness is to confront it, to look at it, and then let it go. The next one is we don't think big enough. Some of us just want, I just want this little tiny bit. I want this little tiny bit not over here back in the corner. There is greatness in each and every one of us. There is this greatness, this bigness that wants to be expressed. And the time has come for us to express it. The time has come to live your divine purpose. And so think big. And when you think you have thought big as you can get, think bigger. It's within you. That greatness wants to come out. The next one is we're not surrounding ourselves with the right people. Now, some of us want to keep those people around that don't support us, that instead of building us up, they are kind of tearing us down. You ever had those people in your life? You know, where you share something with that and they're like, oh no, you can't do that. And yet, we continue to go back to them and share our deepest desires with them. And then we believe what it is that they're saying. So, get rid of those people. You know, invite them out of your life lovingly. Or invite what they have to say out lovingly. The next one is not investing in yourself and your dreams. Oh my goodness. We are worth investing in. Invest your time and your energy in yourself. I shared with some of you that, you know, I had been offered, they didn't offer me the job, but someone had come to me and asked me if I was interested in this job. And at some point, I decided I was going to write down the reasons why I wanted the job and the reasons why I didn't want the job. And one of the reasons why I didn't want the job was because I was going to be lifting up and building someone else's dream and letting my dream be pushed to the side. And for me, that was very powerful because it's like, this is a dream, this is something that needs to be born within me, that needs to be expressed. And I'm going to let it play, you know, second fiddle. No. Invest in yourself. Put your dreams, your purpose first. The next one, we don't ask for help. I know this is one of Reverend Michael's favorite. I don't care who you are. You need help at some point in your life. When you were a baby, you did not come out being able to change your own diaper, being able to feed yourself, being able to change your clothes. We all need help at some point. Be willing and ask for it. Ask for help. The last one, and by no means is this the complete list. I'm sure you have more. But the last one that I came up with is we aren't managing ourselves like the asset we are. We don't take care of ourselves. Many of us are nurturers, and we're doing for others. And we're doing for others, and it's a good thing to do for others. But we also have to take time out to replenish ourselves. We have to take time to rejuvenate. Even if we take the Bible story of creation, what did God do on the seventh day? God rested. So if we are made of God's stuff, we got to rest. Taking some time to rejuvenate. Now, some other ways in which to allow ourselves to leave a legacy of greatness, to live our purpose, is to remember what you have to say and what you have to do matters. No one is insignificant. What you have to say, the world wants to hear. What you have to do, the world wants to see. You matter. I matter. We all matter. Listen to your inner guidance. There is that God within you that is like, hey, how you doing? I got something I want you to do. And when you're guided, act on it. Just like when I was in the shower last night when God came and God's like, no, this is your new title. It's like, okay. And so it is. Another is to take steps, do something around your greatness, around your godness every day. This is not a one-time thing. When God is providing guidance, God provides it in steps. God doesn't just dump the whole load on you and say, here it all is. Here's your 122 steps on how to fulfill your purpose. God will lay them out one step at a time. And so, do something every day toward leaving this legacy of greatness. Now, the last two are for me like the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. Love yourself and have fun. So through this whole thing, love yourself. This is not an opportunity to beat yourself up. Again, remember, failure is okay. What's not okay is not even trying. And love yourself through the process and have fun. Because this is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a drudgery. Have fun. And then the last one is remember, God has got you. God is saying to you, I got you. Whatever it is, I got you. In that poem, you know, where it's that footsteps, and I don't know the name of the poem, but, you know, it's the one about the footsteps. Everybody knows that poem. You know, there's that one part where it's like when, you know, you only see one set of footprints is because I'm holding you. That's God saying, I got you. So you got this idea. The way of fulfilling the idea, the way of fulfilling the purpose, God has already implanted it, so God has already instilled in you the way to fulfill it. God is saying, I got you. And what a wonderful feeling that is. To know we don't have to do it alone. So even though it's my unique and divine purpose, God's with me every step of the way. So, we've come to that time in the program where we have a little life work. I used to call it homework, but I'm calling it life work right now. And there's some questions that you might want to be with, that you might want to journal on. And I'm encouraging you to journal on these questions. And perhaps, you know, it's like 15 minutes a day to journal around these questions. Maybe taking one each day. So the first question is, who is God to me? What is God to me? remember I talked about you have to define who God is, because once you have that definition, then you know who you are. And then now it's time to express that, because it's within you to do. Next question. What do you love to do? What is it that you love to do? All of us have things that we love to do. What is it? The next question. What are you being called to do? So remember, we all have a purpose. So what is it that you are being called to do? Next question. What are my gifts? Ooh. What are my gifts? What are my talents? What are they? Do you know? 2 more. The next one is, how can I share my gifts and talents with others? How can I share my gifts and talents with others? And then the last question, what do I need to heal in order to move forward? Ooh. What do I need to heal in order to move forward? It's about moving forward. It's about living the greatness. It's about leaving that legacy of greatness. So take those questions, use those questions, think about those questions, and then act upon the answers. India Ree reminded us in the video, we are the ones we are waiting for. We're not waiting for anybody else. We're the ones. And so I want to leave you with this idea, with this thought of leaving that legacy of greatness. Stand in your power. Ooh, when you stand in your power, you get erect and strong. Stand in your magnificence. We are all magnificent. Stand in your greatness. And in doing so, we leave that legacy. Thank you. And so it is. So I just want to anchor this with a prayer. So let's just take a deep breath in and letting it go. And just allowing ourselves to be in this place, in this God place. Being in this place of greatness, being in this place of allness, being in this place where God is. And as we stand strongly and firmly in this place, we stand in the knowingness that all that God is, we are. That all that God wants to express through us, we are allowing to be expressed. We are the ones we have been waiting for, and we are now therefore going out and allowing ourselves to live full out on God's playground. We are the ones, this is the time. God has called, we have answered the call, we said, yes, here I am. And we go in a spirit of love, we go in a spirit of upliftment, we go in a spirit of power, we go in a spirit of knowing. And so it's from this place that I know that we leave this legacy of godness, we leave this legacy of greatness because we are doing us. Just do you. That's all that God is asking. And so this day we sign up. We sign on the dotted line. We commit to just doing me. I'm just doing me today. I'm just living in my greatness today. I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am my own shero. I am my own hero. And in doing so, I leave a legacy of greatness. And so it's in this place that I give thanks. I give thanks for the upliftment. I give thanks for the knowingness. I give thanks for the openness. I give thanks for the willingness. I give thanks for the beingness. For we are all God expressing. And it's good and it's very good. So it's from this place of gratitude, I simply release this word to the perfect action of the law. I let it go and I let it be. And I seal this for all eternity by saying, Ashe.
Ashe.
Amen.
Amen.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, for that uplifting word
You're welcome.
and the long list of reasons why we don't do stuff, which I could set claim to pretty much all of those. And for adjusting the title of life work instead of homework. I think that is, that is a little more uplifting.
Yes.
And positive.
Yes.
Homework always seems like
A drudgery.
yeah, drudgery.
Yes.
And so we will be here next week, same time, same station. And I want to thank everybody for joining in, either in the room or by Zoom or Facebook. And if you care to donate to Northern Light Spiritual Center, you can go to our website, which is NorthernLightSpiritualCenter.com, and hit the donate button. And I just want to say my word of gratitude to everyone who supported us in thought, word, or deed, however that support is, that where we have been able to create a safe space, whether it's in the room or whether it's through virtual. To me, that is extremely important to have a safe space to go, to be who and what we are. Like Stephanie says, we have to stand up and be proud and be who we are. And so I want to thank you all, and with that I give thanks, and I say, and so it is.
And
So it is.